Alright then, we're starting off the year in the best possible way. Tonight on NEF1, we are going racing for the first time in this new year in Bahrain. Hello everyone and welcome to the return of NEF1. We are back for season 9 of the NEF1 Esports Championship. We've got 20 cars on the grid, a revised qualifying format, still 50% races, and a wet circuit. And everyone is rushing out on track because it just might be dry enough for one lap on soft tyres. But I'll wait and see. Tess has taken that gamble, and I would assume so is a couple of other people, but Tess is the only one we can go on board with at the moment. So then, whilst we wait for everyone to pile out of pit lane, if that is the case, hello once again and welcome to the return of New Era F1 Esports. We're here for the 9th consecutive season, the second on this F1 24 game. We've got a couple of new people racing with us tonight. Will be racing full-time this season, including Georgi, Mr. Wilco, and Recon21, to name a few. Ron Speed as a reserve is looking for a full-time seat, and Snixor4 is back in NEF1 after a little bit of a hiatus, but that is only a few of the things that is to come. But for now, let's focus on the fact that everyone is piling out of pit lane. We got an 18-minute qualifying session now, and everyone is piling out on soft tyres. This is going to be a rush of a qualifying session, as is every qualifying session in this league now going to be 18 minutes, down from the almost an hour of runtime that we had earlier on since the beginning of NEF1. It's the first time we've done something like this. Let's see how it goes. Ron Speed, one of the new drivers, subbing in for Spenclo64 tonight in the Williams. Let's see what kind of an impression he makes. Squidge 2017, his teammate for the night. And this is going to be difficult to just find out a little bit of time now, because people are going to make mistakes in these wet conditions. Let's see who can just get that breath of fresh air out front. At the moment, Tess looks like he's going to have a lap completely uninterrupted. He's got two Ferrari ahead of him, but they should not be an issue. Nasi and Noah, as Tessai just goes a bit wide coming out of the final corner to start his flying lap. Let's see what then maybe the favourite for the championship is going to be able to get done in that Red Bull. We're looking towards the Alpine as well. Reigning Constructors Champion driver pairing of Wigan and Djokovic. The reigning Constructors Champions are Matty and Mr. Wilco in Aston Martin. We'll see if they're able to defend. We'll also keep an eye on Nasi31. What is he going to be able to do now with a full season? Is he going to be able to challenge for his first Drivers' Championship? He is aiming down Djokovic. They're currently sitting in P8, and on his fast lap has just recently started. We'll go on board with him in just a moment. Websy test just now in that Red Bull, heading down to Copse Corner. And still looking like there's a relatively high amount of grip out there. Not overly grippy, but there is traction to be found. But you do have to take it very, very easy. And if the track conditions worsen, then this qualifying run is everything that is going to count, because the track conditions, well, they're only going to get worse from here, potentially. If that's the case, lap times will not be improving. Tess now then, potentially with the best chance to get the pole position lap in early. We know Djokovic can be brilliant in these types of conditions, and Tess is struggling heading into Sector 3 in that final chicane. It is looking really hard out there. What is Tess going to be able to do? Comes across line, 134.754. It's not a good lap, but how good is it relative when we're looking at the track conditions? Squidge now trying to go around the outside of an RB, heading into those final couple of corners. And where is Djokovic? He's coming up to the chicane. He's got a Williams of that would be Ron Speed ahead of him, if I'm not too mistaken. Ron Speed is about to cross the line. What's he going to be able to do for his first lap? Nothing. Djokovic, 135.198, and that sets a good example that maybe the track conditions are just getting worse and worse. Squidge now, 37.9. Jamar, 36.5. They're not getting closer to YPC Test. Samo Bamo's going to come across the line relatively soon. That's a lap that's not going to count for much. Matty, P3, 135.198. That is identical to Djokovic. He is only third because he's at that time after the reigning NEF1 champion, Snixor, with a good time of 136.481. And now, where is Nasi in all of this? He is on the run down into Maggot and Beckett. His teammate is just ahead of him. Run speed on the run down to Cop's corner. Wiggins in the pit lane. There's a lot going on here in this new type of qualifying. It's going to be really, really fun and really, really hard to try and keep track of. Mr. Wilco, what's he going to be able to do on his first flying lap as an NEF1 driver? We'll wait and see. He's been thrown into the deep end, let's say. P12 is the best that the Aston Martin man can do, but is very good indeed, just behind Squidge by about a tenth and a half. Nasivan is about to jump up the order probably. No, he does not. 15th is all that Latvian can do. His teammate just 3 seconds quicker than him. Keep in mind the track conditions are appalling at the moment. 139.120 and 142.861 respectively for the Ferraris, and run speed is just about to come across the line for what is going to be a good lap indeed. P2 135.066 for the Williams driver, 134.754 for YPC test. So that's a good lap from run speed. Puts him straight up into P2 ahead of Djokovic and ahead of Matti. Beatty's had a good run, but on intermediate, 35.630. And is that telling everyone that maybe the Intus is the tyre is a tyre that can deliver you a decent lap? Wigan probably would have liked that information a bit in advance. Ipsdude, now where did that pace come from for Ipsdude? 136.424 on a set of soft tyres as well. Or is the track conditions just beginning to improve a little bit? The rain doesn't look as intense as it did early on in the session. Recon now, 35.056 is a good lap, and that could potentially be an indicator that the track is improving. How's Djokovic doing? We're on board with him through Cop's corner and heading into Maggots and Beckes. Let's see what the champion of NEF1 can do. No one has more championships, more wins, more pole position and more points than this man. Is he going to be able to deliver a Sector 2 worthy of the name? I think he does. Noah Nasi goes fastest. The track is improving and the rain has stopped. We've got a session, boys. Here we go. Nasi, quickest out of anyone. Noah, P2. So then, Djokovic, is he going to be able to launch himself up the other? Track has dried up incredibly quickly. Run speed now goes quickest. Djokovic beats that out by a second and a half. Welcome to NEF1 yet again, Djokovic. My goodness, we have missed watching your qualifying laps. Recon is going through Maggots and Beckett's, whereas a BT stuck on intermediate tyres, and that's everywhere you don't want to be right now in terms of tyres, because those are going to be worth nothing. Ipsdu then set his lap whilst the track conditions were just beginning to improve. Let's see if he can keep that momentum going onto his next run. He's not going to be improving on this lap, as Georgi has left the session. We'll be sure to try to get him an invite back in just a moment, as Wigan is now coming around that final chicane, yet to have set a time. But was he going to be able to do a little bit of a snapping of oversteer coming out of the final corner? And it is fastest out of anyone for Wigan, 71. The one-time NEF1 race winner, multiple-time Constructors champion. That's a lap and a half, that from Wigan, and the times are just going to keep improving. We've got a 10-second spread from Wigan down to Jay. As who's on a run at the moment, Darren Style has just improved up to P5, so that is a very, very good run. As Georgi, if you're watching the stream, I'm working on getting an invite, but I couldn't find you in the list just then. I'll get you one as soon as I can, as Ipsdude is now 3.5 seconds up on his best time. We're expecting everyone to massively improve in just a moment. So Ipsdu then, what is he going to be able to do on a track that is significantly faster than his previous attempt? P3, 32.157, and Quickvan Hybrid set his lap a little while ago, not too long ago. So that is promising pace for Ipsdu. YPC Test has, Just Test this season, has found himself all the way down to P12. Nasi, who was first just a minute ago, is now sitting in 10th, and the track, you're gonna want to do your last lap this session at the very end of this session, so the track is going to be at its best. But Tess has still got to go out and cover his base. Do not want to start the season down in 12th place if you test with championship ambition for Tess this season, surely, after actually getting very, very close contention last season after only doing about half of it. So Tess is one of the drivers that's going to have his eye on the championship. As for the other championship, Iwatts, could he be going towards a Constructors' Championship with Red Bull potentially as well? Here we go then. Tess goes fastest and by seconds as well. 3.5 seconds faster than anyone is Tess, 28 flat, and that's a statement if I've ever seen one. As thank you very much, Jamar, for the subscriptions. We are back indeed. Now let's see some of that old Jamar pace from you on your next run. I'll be sure to spectate you as soon as you come out on track. Ipstu then sitting in P5, Samo P6, the Saubers in 8th and 9th. We just had Matty pop up into the top 2 to 28.464. It is very hard to keep track of everything, especially now that everyone's just switching positions around like crazy. I believe there's one of the Ferraris coming up the line to start a flying lap. No one's really about to finish one. No one's actually close to finishing a lap at the moment. I don't believe too many people are on a lap. Snixor, P3, 28.902. That's a car going across the track if I've ever seen it. Hello, Tess. Probably just getting out of the way of certain people. Nice work from him. It still looks fun when you spectate a driver for just a couple of seconds to see them jump in across the track like that. Just looks that bit odd. Noah 48 then has started another flying lap. Needs to improve by seconds and seconds and seconds if he wants to have a go at the top 10 even here. But we expect him to be up there. Iwatts 28.612, decent pace from the Red Bull man. Back in Red Bull for this season should be said, as well as previous history within that team. Most successful, if I'm not mistaken, Season 2 when he was partnering with Danny DC97, Season 1 NEF1 Champion and founding admin. Let me know if I'm mistaken, but I seem to have a pretty good recollection of Iwatts being in Red Bull Season 2. Might have been there since. As here we go then, Noah's coming up to the end of his second flying lap. Does he have time for a third? We'll wait and see. Maybe fuel for 2 runs, but this is a high deg circuit, this. It's a high deg circuit. Comes across, fastest out of anyone by almost a second. Noah up to provisional pole position, and let's see what Nassi's going to be able to do because he's just behind on the hanger straight then. He's behind one of the Aston Martins off, that'd be Mr. Wilco, and currently sitting in P20, not yet getting a run in on the dry conditions. Georgi's out there as well, he's on a run. Let's see what he's going to be able to do. Here we go then, Nassi 31 coming across the line to, we expect this to be provisional P1, and it is by a margin. 26.561 is the time to beat. Then Georg is about to cross the line as well, and he's improving. Not going to be enough for P1, P2. It is going to be enough for P5 for Georgi. 28.221. Djokovic. Good enough for P2. 26.857. So we go then. Jamar is improving as well. Actually, he's not improving. He's invalidated his lap. And that is going to be an increasing problem now in these shorter qualifying sessions. As Matty has just promptly corrected me in the comment section there, saying that he was in Red Bull for Season 2, and Season 4 was Danny and Iwatts in Red Bull. Thank you very much for the information, Matty. I completely forgot that you dominated everything in Season 2. It is one of those seasons that you'd rather forget. Here we go then, Wigan going through Maggot and Beckett's then, and he is improving, but by how much? You need to be able to find those couple of seconds now if you're still in this 131.6. Need to be able to find a couple of seconds just going through this chicane alone. Nasi with provisional P1. Djokovic, Noah, Ron Speed and Tess sitting in the top 5. Wigan has just knocked Tess out of that top 5. 27.829 is his time. So Mr. Wilco at the moment, P11. But everyone is improving. Squidge Recon now out on laps, not having set representative times on a dry track. Let's see what they're going to be able to do. Jamar now as well, going through Meckett and Beckett. He's improving by 4.5 seconds at the moment, on pace for what I'd expect to be a 27 or a very, very low 28, would place him about 6th or 5th place potentially. So let's wait and see what Jamar's going to be able to do. A driver that really found his old pace towards the end of last season. We hope he can keep that pace around. And Jamar third fastest, 27.317, ahead of Noah, ahead of Ron Speed. So that is a very, very good pace from the Canadian McLaren driver. How's his teammate doing? Currently heading into Copse Corner, sitting in 14th. As Georgi, I believe, just came across line. No, someone came across line. Who just came across line? I don't know. Someone just came across line as Georgi's had issues going through Beckett's. I have no clue what just happened. That could have been Darren who just came across line, because he's now sitting in P10 with the 28.606. How Sipstu doing is improving by another couple of seconds, and this would see him up a few places, ranging Mr. Wilco thereabouts. But we are looking at a bit of a bigger field spread with this, let's just say, chaotic nature of a session. As Squidge now second fastest only to Nasi. Ipsdude up to P12. And these last laps are going to be crucial. We have 1 minute remaining, ladies and gentlemen, of the first qualifying session of this season. And it is going down. It's all going to come down to this. A lot of people out on fast laps, a lot of people out on out laps, including Nasi and Djokovic out on out laps. Tess as well. They all want to start their laps as late as humanly possible. As for Recon, he's on a 135.056, desperately needs to be improving or he will start this race in last. Could be a steep way up from there. Wigan at the moment in P7, Ron Speed in P6. Then we have the top 5, Noah, Jamar, Djokovic, Squidge and Nasi. That is going to change, I can promise you that. If that does not change now, I'll be looking like an absolute fool, and make sure to clip that and put it on TikTok if you will. Here we go then, Recon with a little bit of slipstream session has ended now. A couple of people having set their final laps, Djokovic, Jamar and Ron Speed. Are those three? Djokovic not in contention for pole position tonight, then neither is Wiggins, just come across line. Now then we have the two Mercedes off, Snixor and Recon. Snixor is going to be able to get up to P8, Recon up to P7, forcing Snixor to P9. That's a good effort from both of them, separated by 0.2 of a second. Wiggins in P8 between them. Now, what else is going to go on here? Let's have a look at the map. There is a McLaren of Jay about to cross line. What's he going to be able to do? It's going to be P17 for Jay at best. Next car to cross line then are going to be both of the Aston Martins. Mr. Wilco, Matty, and I believe that might be Georgi between them. Matty 4th, Mr. Wilco 14th, Hybrid 7th. That was Hybrid, not Georgi. Sorry, we have a Ferrari coming up the line. That is Noah 48 NEF1. After him is Georgi and one of the Red Bulls. I think it might just be Iwas, because Tess has qualified in P12. Noah 4th place, Georgi 13th place. Now Nasi's yet to cross the line, so is Darren Stahl. What's he going to be able to do with his last chance? Nasi at the moment on the way to pole position. Darren puts it up to P13. Nasi, will he improve in his final run? No, he will not. And Sam, I don't think is going to be able to challenge him. No, it's P20 for the RB man. Nasi takes the first pole position of the season in Great Britain, picking up where he left it. Squidge in P2 with a good effort. Djokovic in P3. No in P4, that's a good effort from the Ferrari man, now partnered with Nasi. Matt in P5 will also be quite happy with that effort, I would assume. Jamar in P6, followed by Beat in P7, Hybrid in P8, Ron Speed in 9th, Iwatts in 10th, and that is a session to behold. But what happened for Tess there, finishing quite far down the order. Probably just couldn't quite get that last run right. And yeah, it all just went wrong for him. Tess, where is he? Where did he finish? Did he finish all the way down at 15th? Yes, he did. So he has a sharp hill to climb. We have a field spread of 3.5 seconds. The majority field spread about 2 seconds down into 18th. So everyone's relatively compact together. But we are looking. Nasi 31. He's looking good for the championship contention already. But it's a long, long season. There's 18 races to decide the Season 9 champion. But then we are going to go on a little bit of a break before we get this race underway. So everyone will just have to hold on the grid whilst getting the strategies together. I will be back in a couple of minutes with dry running for the British Grand Prix. We will see you in just a moment. As we can confirm that someone has triggered the race too early as well, which will trigger an automatic penalty, but everyone get back to the seats. And we will be getting underway in just a moment. But that is an automatic qualifying ban for the next race. Everyone back to your seats. We have the formation left for about 2 minutes. Nasi, if you don't mind, don't rush this one. You feel free to back up everyone relatively high if you can. Focus on your tyres though first. So then, everyone seemingly back in the cars apart from Djokovic and Noah sitting in P3 and P4. Hopefully they have time to get back. Benassi Van is leading the way. So then let's get everything in order for the race that is to come, starting with the position change for the fast lap. We usually have a couple of incidents on the fast lap around here. It is a tricky first corner. Okay, so everyone seemingly quite ready for this race restart. Djokovic and Noah should be back in their seats by the time we get to line. Nasi and Squidge then lead the way from Djokovic and Noah. Matty, Jamar, BT Hybrid, Ron Speed and Iowa is the top 10. We had time to look at that at the end of qualifying. Then we have Recon in P11, followed by Wigan in 12th, Darren in 13th, Snixo 14th, Tess 15th after a mistake through Cops, Georgi 16th, Wilco 17th, Ipstun 18th, 19th JV8, and Samo in 20th and last after a difficult qualifying session for him. But then everyone is coming up to the line. Samo Bamo lining up the field in 20th, JV8 ahead of him. Let's see then, this season is about to get underway. We have a couple of moments until those 5 red lights go out for the British Grand Prix. Good luck everyone, because here we go yet again. For round 1 out of 18, we have 5 red lights. And it's lights on, away we go. Nasi gets away incredibly well. Second phase of the start as well. Little bit messy on the third phase of the start. But Nasi holds the lead from Squidge and Djokovic. Matty's made up a position on Noah, so has Jamar. Hybrid and iWatts down 11-12 positions each, so that is a catastrophic start from the OG NEF1 duo of Hybrid and iWatts has been with us for a long time. But other than that, relatively clean. Just a bad start for the two of them. Did they get tangled up? It's a very big chance that they did. But then Nasi holds lead from Squidge, Djokovic, Matty, Adam, Jamar, Noah down 2 positions, BT. One of a few drivers in the midfield to hold their positions, Darren Style being the other. But it's a relatively calm start then to start of the season. Thankfully we had so. Ron Speed is up 2 positions now on BT, who gets a bit wider, cops, and that is going to allow now Recon around the outside of him, and we're going to go too wide into Magnus and Beckett for the first time this season. And Wiggins just going to come out ahead of Ron Speed, ahead of that one, but we have contact. Wiggins and Ron Speed make contact in Beckett. Ron Speed just running out of room there. Should he have backed out? Did Wiggins not leaving enough room? We'll wait and see after the race. I'm sure a BT now, down 4 positions. Tess up 6. Into P9, so Tess has made a brilliant start. Recon's up to P8. What went wrong? Snicksaurus involved in something with a BT as well. Oh, it got messy in the end of lap 1. The first couple of corners were fine, but through Magnus and Beckett's everything went wrong. Darren does battle with Mr. Wilco, comes out victorious in P11. Tess now trying to get past Georgi in that first sector, and Squidge has actually taken the lead over Nasi. It's been a crazy first couple of corners. Squidge is in the lead of the British Grand Prix, his home Grand Prix for a British team. So let's see if he's able to hang on to that. Tess now trying to hang on to P9 and go after Recon, but there's a couple of seconds gap worth up ahead. Djokovic's just hanging back a little bit in P3. Nasi, though, is going to be desperate to get past that Williams of Squidge once again. Matt in P4, Jamer in P5. Noah still hunting down the pair in 6th. But DRS is enabled now on lap 2. I have an issue for BT heading into Maggots and... not Maggots and Beckett's first corner, sorry. And Nasi's not going to be able to do anything about Squidge's lead on this occasion. And we have a train running down from 1st to 6th now. And Recon is sniffing down the back of Wigan 71. Squidge, fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far, 29.545. Let's see if anyone beats it. Not on this occasion, no. Recon, though, has a run on Wigan heading into turn 1. Sorry, not P1. Is he going to send one down the inside into the first proper braking zone? No, he avoids doing so. Got a DRS zone coming up. Wigan 2.5 behind No at the moment. Without DRS, is left vulnerable here. Because Tess is going to bring a pack of cars up to him as well as Recon's just going to pull a routine overtake on Wigginoff. And that is P7 for the NEF1 debutant, running his first NEF1 race here tonight in Great Britain. And how is iWatts recovering after his first lap incident? Rather well, sitting in P13. We've got a bit of a field spread going on at the moment. Darren in P11, just behind Georgi, running up the points. Mr. Wilco's right there in the Aston Martin. So here we go then, Nasi on Squidge once again, pulls to the inside with a bit of a better run, and Nasi is going to take back the lead of the British Grand Prix on 3 out of 26. Squidge just got a taste of it, but now Nasi opting to reslot into that position, and I assume we're going to see a bit of this throughout this race. Wiggins doing a good job at the moment of sticking with Recon here, although Tess is catching them, but this is going to make Tess' job just slightly more difficult with Recon and Wiggins starting a DRS train. Here we go then, Darren Style on Georgi on the Hamilton straight, no issues, and gets past him. So up into the points then for the Sauber of Darren Style as hybrids in the pit lane currently. Let's let's see what tire strategy everyone is going for. It's hard tires for BT. It is, I would assume, hard tires for hybrid at the end of this pit stop as well. It's actually a set of mediums. Okay. So BT is going to be trying to go to the end unless we have a safety car here, but he is quite far behind at the moment. Georgi trying to get the inside of Darren into Cop's corner, and he might just be able to pull it off. Yes, he does. So Georgi's past Darren, Stahl heading into Mags and Beckett's. And Squidge is past Nazi once again for the lead of the Grand Prix. And I said, probably going to start seeing this a couple of times this race. I was right. Wiggins past Recon. And now let's see what Tess is going to be able to do these next 2-3 laps. You can get past this train and start moving up towards the front runners of Noah, Jamar, Matty, and all the way up to P1 is where Tess wants to be and fight tonight. But the field is still relatively compact without any massive gaps between people apart from Hybrid and ABT who have pitted, and that was a late move by Recon. Tess almost getting caught out there. Recon swerving to the inside to try to get Wiggins at the last moment. Tess was maybe a bit lucky that he wasn't further up, because that could have been a massive one between Recon and Tess. Recon now past the Swede of Wiggin. Tess is going to be attacking the pair on this next DRS straight, getting a better run through Cop's Corner. Van Wiggin though can't do anything about it into Mags and Beckett's. Djokovic's just hanging back in P3 at the moment. Nasty's coming up to Squidge, and I'd assume he retakes the lead of the Grand Prix. Yes, he does. As here we go then, Tess on Wiggin. Is he going to have a go at him? He's going to have a go at Recon as well. Pushes to the outside before the corner, and he takes 2 positions into 1, and that's a move and a half from Tess to seal P7 for the time being. Squidge has had an issue going through the last corner. He's now down to P4. Djokovic in P2 now free to chase out the leader. Matty in P3. So then, Tess is able to hold off Recon, and Wiggin is actually putting a gap to them at the moment as well, which is crucial for its race. Need to get rid of that toe in order to advance up here. Jamar's having a really solid race in 5th place right now. Not involved with the battle with the front guys, but he's keeping Noah at bay. Former teammates, former rivals. These two have had a bit of controversy. See if they find each other on track here in a couple of laps as well. Noah's closing the gap by a little bit, but it just keeps hopping back and forth, and Matty flies past Djokovic. Djokovic is losing yet another position to Squidge as well, and this is only going to allow Nasty to break away a little bit. Matty now hard pressed to not hold up everyone else really, because now Nasty's just started to break away a little bit. So what else is going on down the field? Wiggins still involved in this battle with Recon. Tess has left Recon behind though. Crucial enough for the Red Bull. Where's his teammate at the moment? Sitting down in 13th, a little bit behind Darren Stahl, not too much. Snicks are now in the pit lane with in the other Mercedes. We're watching the back of the first one. And Georgi's right on the back of Mr. Wilco, right on the fringes of the points in P11. Lap 7 out of 26 so far. We should mention as well on stream everyone in this league can get the fastest point even if you are outside the top 10. So, during those last couple of laps, watch out for people making a late pit stop just for the fastest lap. If you're down in 16th, 17th, 18th, got nothing to lose, just bolt on a set of soft tires and go for it. Makes it that much harder for the top guys to get it as well, because they are usually locked into a battle just like this. Nasi at the moment is coming out ahead in that battle. Matti, Squidge, Djokovic are closely following him. Tess now past the Ferrari of Noah, who's dived into the pits and could trigger a chain of undercuts here. We'll wait and see. It's a long pit lane around here. Medium tyres going on that Ferrari, and that is surely not enough for a one stop. 18 laps to go. It's a long way to go on those mediums. High deck circuit. We'll wait and see. Overtaking definitely possible around this place. Do you maybe just plan for a two-stopper with that in mind? It's a 40-50 second pit stop around here. Don't want to enter the pit lane unless you absolutely have to. Squidge now right on the very back of Matti Adam, while Nasi's just started leaving his former teammate and rival a bit behind. And here we go, and Squidge on the back of Matti Adam pulls out and joins back into P2. Matti for P3, Djokovic in P4, and it's a formation right now that is very tricky to get by, with two incredibly fast guys just running so close to each other, passing each other. Djokovic might just be in maybe the worst position out of these top four guys. Obviously, you'd prefer to be in Nasi's position, clear of the DRS and outside of any danger at the moment, but I wouldn't say Matti's position's too bad either. He's getting a nice little tow from Squidge, and they just swapping positions. Right now is probably actually keeping them within touching distance. Samo has retired from this race. We know he had internet issues before, so that might be what has triggered that. As iWatts now is coming out of the pit lane on a set of hard tyres, so that puts Noah's mediums into a bit of question. But what could be happening here is that Noah's eating up the gap on those new medium tyres to the front guys, and that could be an incredibly effective strategy for Nasi as well. If those two are playing the team game, this is going to be an interesting watch. And it could be an incredibly interesting season if we have quite a fair few people communicating with each other. Because we do love a bit of team play here in NEF1. It's always fun to see. JV8 now on the back of Ipsk for P13 and 14. JV8 currently sitting in 14th, and I expect these two guys are going to be seeing a bit of each other, especially now in the early stages of this season. See whomever comes out ahead, but at the moment JV8 gets a much better exit coming out of Beckes and should have that move sealed and settled before we even get to the bridge, and he does. JV8 just ahead of Ipsk with the lapped car. He beat out of him trying to get unlapped, but he does need a safety car. Ron Speed right now at the moment, currently sitting in P12. After the contact with Wigan, he's actually recovering really well to not be too far behind. Say about 10 seconds. And Tess is now past the McLaren of SFLYJ mark and has started catching the leaders, and by this pace he will catch the leaders towards the end of this race as well, to the middle of this race even potentially. Let's see how quick he can make that Red Bull over the course of these next 4 or 5 laps, because that is going to be absolutely crucial. But Tess is not out of battle for this win. And if he could win the race after starting in 15th, that would be a statement and a half of intent for Tess this season. But as things stands, Nasi is the championship leader come the end of this. Ron Speed, first penalty of the season then belongs to Ron Speed 19. and it is a track limits breach. And who could have predicted that? A track limits breach being the first penalty of the season. I certainly could have. Here we go then, Recon is past Wigan for P7, and these two seem to be enjoying each other's company on track because they don't seem to want to leave each other. What is Noah doing at the moment? He is past JV8 and trying to go at Ipsdude right now. What I'm curious is how good is that medium tower? How much time is he actually gaining on them? We'll find out in a little bit of time, but I would expect everyone else on the front lines of the grid then to be pushing for a one-stop race. It could get very interesting when they come in to pit, because I think Noah is going to be quite clear of everyone by that point. So that two-stopper, not necessarily a bad idea, but it's such a long pit lane around here that it could come back to bite him. He has to make up a lot of time by pitting again. Make up a lot of time. Here we go then, Squitch is back within striking distance of Nasi, but he's not going to get there this time around. This is actually worst case scenario for Tess as well, because now Nasi is dragging everyone along. Here we go then. Top three are coming into pit. Nasi, Squidge and Matty all coming into box. Djokovic doing something different on his soft. He is staying out. What is Tess doing? Staying out as well. He's on the medium tires. Everyone else is on soft. So Tess is equipped to go a little bit further into this race. Could he maybe make it to about lap 18 and bolt on a set of softs to the end? That'd be quite something for Tess. I'd expect medium tires for this entire patch. And now, where is Noah going to come out in regards to these other? It's actually coming out way behind. It's not as long a pit lane as I seem to have recalled. So completely ignore my strategy. Noah's actually lost time on that stint. I'm going to look at things quite a bit. Okay, so that is interesting. And I would imagine then Noah's just kicking himself a bit for opting on that two-stop strategy as Nasi gets very close to the back of Ron Speed, and is that going to allow Squidge to get closer? It is going to allow him to get closer, but the two are separated slightly by the pit lane. As we are nearing halfway distance into this race, and Wiggins just on the back of Recon again still. As now we can see Tess is starting to eat into the advantage that Djokovic has over him. Djokovic's coming into pit then, so we're not going to find out by how much next lap as well. Let's see how good Tess is on those mediums. Jamar's coming into box as well, so is Wigan and so is Recon. Mr. Wilco staying out on soft tyres. Georgi's coming in on soft tyres. Darren's coming in. Nasi then is going to claim quite a number of positions here, but the question is, how is the overcut for Djokovic? He's gonna lose places, but how many? Can he make the overcut work? I was very, very close to another lap, and he might just have actually been able to. Okay, so the overcut seems to potentially even be effective here. That's worrying for everyone, because Tess is going to have access to a brand new set of soft tires come the end of this race. Right now, money could be on Tess to even win this race, which would be absolutely mental. But it very well could happen. It very well could happen. 15th to 1st would be a statement of intent if you can pull it off. Wilco at the moment finds himself in P2. I'm sure he wouldn't mind a safety car right now. I'm sure Nasi, Squidge, Matty would, because that would allow Tess to take the lead outright. But it would force him onto a set of hard tyres. Actually, that might not be too bad for everyone. Coming in already, is he going to force himself onto a set of hard tyres, or is those softs being bolted on the Red Bull? I would expected him to stay out just that bit longer. 3-second time penalty for JV8, second penalty of the season. And that is soft tyres, isn't it? Going on for YPC. Tess to VN. Where's he coming out? Ah, soft tyres for YPC. Or Tess, sorry. That's going to be a habit this season. Okay, so then, Squidge has gone past Nasty. Now is he going to get past Tess? Yes, they are. How many places Tess going to lose? Okay, quite a number of them. Quite a number. He got undercut here, and that's given us a bit of intrigue towards the end of this race, because he is now on a superior tyre to everyone ahead of him. But that tyre advantage is not going to last too long, because those softs are going to start wearing out, and wearing out at a rather rapid rate. Wigan at the moment in P11. He's behind the JV8, who's not pit, if I'm not mistaken. No, neither is he an Ipsk dude. Everyone else has. Everyone basically on medium tyres, apart from Tess inside the top 10. A couple of people on hard tyres towards the back, and a BT has retired from the race. What has happened there? Can we get a POV of it? I would wish to. And he's ended up in a wall on a straight, has a BT. And has triggered a virtual safety car. And oh, how Tess probably wishes that he just stayed on those goddamn tires for one lap longer. But you can never ever know, can you? Now, is anyone able to get away with cheap pit stop? Nope, because the virtual safety car has ended. We're back to green flag racing edition, so Tess really lost nothing by coming in when he did, but he is gaining time by a handful. Every single corner, every single sector, he's gaining time on leaders. What, 4 seconds now? It is 1.9 in a lap. But the thing is here, Tess is going to have to get creative with the overtakes. He's not going to be able to breeze past him in a DRS straight. As JV8 is coming into the pit lane. So then, Squidge holding the lead of the Grand Prix, 11 laps to go, and Squidge I think can start tasting potentially the race win now, but it's still a long way to go, a bit over half race distance, so we're not anywhere done yet. It's going to be an interesting one indeed. Squidge, Nassi and Matt is the top three. Djokovic just sitting outside in P4 with Tess in P5. That's a strong top 5 if I've ever seen it. Noah and Jamer are just a class behind this race, but we expect them to be up there for a couple of races as well. And keep in mind, we are missing Zatin Spenklos for this event as well, so let's see what he's going to be able to do next week when he's back. Jamar Van to the inside of Noah. Is he going to be able to force his way through? Oh, the two make slight contact. Noah just maintaining position, but Jamar might just be able to go around this outside into braking zone. He's going to go for it. Oh, Noah gets very much stuck on the curb, and that is going to allow Jamar a better exit coming out of the final chicane, and he takes that position. Noah's right on his shaft into turn 1 then, and they're going to go side by side yet again. Noah retakes the position, cuts the corner as a result, and Noah, you're going to have to give that position back, buddy. Off the track whilst completing the move, I'm afraid. So he gets himself a penalty. See if he lets Jamar go here. Websy, Tess in P5, Djokovic in P4, Matt in P3, Squidge in P2, Nassi in P1. As Jamar Van is past Noah once again, thank you very much. Noah, Recon in P8, you're now free to race once again. Recon in P8, Ipsdude in P9. I believe he'll have to pit again, Ipsdude if I'm not mistaken, or I believe he'll have to pit because that might be his original set of tyres. Wilco's having a very, very good debut race in P10 at the moment. He's keeping Wigan company at the moment. And this will be interesting because Ron Speed's just coming up to the back of Wigan. And those are the two that made contact on lap 1 going through Maggots and Beckett. So Ron Speed and Wigan might just be a bit wary of each other. What happened we didn't quite see. They'll know. They'll know and they'll treat each other accordingly. Noah's now past Jamar once again, but they are losing each other quite a bit of time. 8 seconds was the gap from Noah to Tess a couple of laps ago. It is now 12. And Tess has just started trying to put a move on Djokovic in P4, but this is where it's going to get difficult for Tess. He has the better tyres, but he's going to have to get creative as per se. Can brake a little bit later, but Djokovic gets his back out a little bit. Coming on to the Wellington, and that might have just allowed Tess a little cheeky move, but not on this occasion. And the other ones seem to be quite a bit quicker in a straight line than Tess, and that could be a problem. As Ron Speed now passed Wigan into turn 1. Nice and simple, and into the points for the first time this season's Ron Speed. As Jamar is still very much in the back of Noah, and this is a battle that's going to go on all race presumably. But Jamar right now just has to sit there and not get a penalty, and he'll have that position on penalties. Tess right on the back of Djokovic still, but it's not as easy as he would have liked. It's a train between the fastest 5 drivers we maybe ever had in any F1. Squidge, Nasi, Matti, Djokovic and Tess. And if this is the way this season's going to be, I'm all for it. It's a shame to the midfield drivers because they're not going to get too much airtime if it's like this. But we're in for a hell of a championship fight because this order could very well change every single race. Tess now pulls a move on Djokovic into turn 1. He's going to be able to pull it off. Djokovic just has him covered. Tess will have the inside for the fast braking zone. He can break that bit later. Djokovic and Tess, done battle before. Tess comes out victorious on this occasion, and now he's free to go after Matti. How is the straight line speed then for Tess? Okay, this time a bit more up there, and Matty's just going to open the door for him to maybe try something around the outside, and this is impressive if he can pull it off. Matty's going to do everything he can, but it might just not be enough. Tess with a brilliant move of the season so far, around the outside of Matty MC, around the long sweeping right-hander, and Tess now all the way up to P3, and he is involved with the leaders of this race now. Nasty and Squidge has got to be aware of him now, because he is right on their chuff. Tess is back this season. He is back with a point to prove. And Jesus Christ, if everyone is going to have to deal with this all season, he started in P15. Nasty's up in the lead of the Grand Prix. They've got to keep... They can do battle all they want to now, but if they allow Tess to get in front, he might just have enough tyres still to pull ahead. Nasty and Squidge are going to be aware of Tess still. Don't want to give him any openings to get past him because he's going to be difficult to re-overtake. So I'm sure Matti and Djokovic are now experiencing. But this is one hell of a race from Tess at the moment. Started in P15, had issues at the start as well. Sorry, didn't have issues at the start, that was his teammate. But has just recovered and now is clawing back quite a big deficit really, and he's sitting in P3 with contention for the win still in sight. And he is so close to Squidge. Heading into Cop's corner, he's about 3 tenths behind. I'm looking forward to this season, guys. I don't know what you think, but I'm really looking forward to this. As Dominic is saying, got to love move of the season, first race in, and that could probably end up being one of the moves of the season if nothing crazy happens. We usually have 3 or 4 brilliant moves, and Squidge has retaken P1. It's on DRS straight. Tess still stationary in P3. We've got 7 laps to go for that to change. Is it going to be... Ooh, it's been an issue with potentially Matti rear-ending Djokovic or something like that. Does Matti now potentially have front wing damage from that? No, his front wing's okay. How's Djokovic's? That costs time. Seemingly alright, but that's left a gap between Matti and Tess. That's going to be difficult for Matti to reclaim unless there's stuff going on between the front 3 now. It's going to be difficult for Matti to get back into the 1 second space. I have no clue what just happened. Squidge is holding off Nasi. Tess is in P3, but how much is everyone just waiting and waiting for that final lap and final onslaught to happen? Would be interesting to just ban DRS in this league now and see what happens. Wish you could turn it off because these batteries are rather powerful indeed. Or potentially we'd lose all overtaking. It'd be interesting to try. So a couple of penalties throughout the grid. No run speed, Mr. Wilco at the moment as Nassi's gone past Squidge on the DRS trade once again. Lap 20 out of 26, and Tess is right there. Matt is losing pace now. Yellow's in sector 1 has been some sort of issue. Looking for Ips2 potentially. It's on a set of soft tires. 2 retirees so far, say BT and Samo. Samo through a connection issue if I'm not mistaken. ABT through terminal damage on the Wellington straight. Unfortunately didn't catch quite what happened. Wiggins now past Mr. Wilco up into the points. And he is still chasing down Ron Speed and P9. That Squidge is right on the very back of Nassi 31. And this battle is going to go on to the flag, I can assure you of that. Dominic's also saying if Squidge doesn't win this, he'll be picking up the pitchforks. That'd be quite interesting to see riots in the comment section at the end of the first race. There's a long way to go, Dominic. Don't you worry, Squidge. If he can keep this pace up, he'll be there every single race, because this is a mighty battle indeed. Nassi, Squidge and Tess for the race win with 5 laps to go. As Squidge then pulls to the inside, takes Nassi into that right-hander, and Tess is just hanging back at the moment, or he's run out of tire. Djokovic has gotten past Matti and is now well on his way back into this battle. The gap was 1.9, it's now 1.2. So he's getting closer and closer with Matti right behind him. Tess now is maybe starting to look at Nassi. 31 is going to go to the inside of Nassi, and he gets that move done under braking, and that has opened everything up significantly for Tess. Because now if he can get ahead of Matti, Squidge, but he can't. Just loses the rear a little bit, gives Squidge a bit of breathing room. Is that going to allow Nassi to potentially have a charge on the Red Bull? No, it doesn't. Squidge and Tess is now the battle we're properly looking at, but that has changed the race in its entirety for Tess. Now 1 car ahead of him, and he can start planning for when he wants to make his move. Nassi, is he starting to run out of tire perhaps? Well, surely Tess should be starting to run out of tire quite soon. So starting on the mediums was a wise move indeed, and was the only one out of this bunch to do it. J-Man now 16 seconds behind his lead bunch. Tess now is going for it on Squidge, and he started in 15th. He's now first with 4 laps to go. It is Tess for the lead of the Grand Prix. And Jesus Christ, Nassi goes wide. Is he going to be able to fend off Djokovic, who's going to be around this outside of the chicane? He can fend off Djokovic. Oh, but Squidge now with a hill to climb, because Tess on that soft tyre is going to be rapid. Clear air. We've not seen Tess with clear air in comparison to the rest of this field. But can he be stopped now? If Tess can pull this off, then everyone should be worried. We know Tess is going to be in championship contention, but my goodness, I thought this first race was going to be a hitch. But he is coming back to Silverstone with a point to prove after last season, where he ended the race in terminal damage, lap 6 or 7, I believe. It was early on. But Jesus Christ, what a performance he's delivering for us, even if he can't pick up the win here. He is doing everything he can. But I would imagine everyone is going to start saving up their batteries for that last lap, to attack, to defend, everything. A lot is going to be coming down to this final straight in 3 laps time. Here we go then. Tess is maybe charging up his battery. Squidge is pulling alongside him. Nassi's emptying his battery, and he gets up to P1 with Tess in P2, P3. It's not clear. It's P2 now. Nassi in P1, Squidge in P3, and that's how quickly the turntables. Nassi P1, Tess in P2, Squidge in P3. After it looked like Nassi was out of it a lap ago, now he is leading the race. 3 laps to go. Don't go anywhere, because this is going to be an exciting end to the race. And keep in mind, we got Djokovic and Matti there as well. They are separated, the top 5, by 1 second. Welcome to Season 9 of NEF1. JV8, yet another 3-second time penalty, and now Tess is, he's just teasing Nassi a bit round the outside at Cops, but he's not going to go for it on this occasion. Squidge is right there as well. There's 2 laps to go. So then, this is the 3rd to last time they're making this run. Tess sitting behind Nassi at the moment. Oh, but this is a difficult situation for Nassi to be in. Tess is just sitting there, making it known that he can overtake the Ferrari if he fancies, but he doesn't fancy it yet. And there we go, Tess makes it past Nassi. I believe might not have fancied sitting in the lead on these last 2 laps. Squidge is now right there as well, and this could shake everything up a little bit. Tess is going to be itching for Squidge to start making moves on Nassi now. The question is, how close can Nassi keep to Tess now? I don't know if that was actually lift off on the start-finish straight to let Tess go ahead. We'll know that after the race, I'm sure. Tess, Nassi and Squidge is the top 3. Got a lap and a half to go now, guys. Looking down the rest of the order, it's Jamar in 6th, Noah in 7th, Recon in 8th, followed by Wigan in 9th, and Wilco in 10th, picking up his first points potentially, because Georgie is there, and Wilco does have a penalty that'll serve come the end of the race. 3 seconds if I'm not mistaken. Hybrids had a problem in Maggots and Beckett's. Here we go then, Nassi on Tess. Tess is just, he's parked the frickin' bus. And then slotted in right behind Nassi. And this is a competition to not be in the lead for the final lap. And is Nassi gonna break early? No, he doesn't, because there's an onslaught going on behind him. Tess is in P2, Squidge is in P3. Everyone wants to be in P2, not P1. But the question is, how much is Nassi going to be able to break away now on this lap that I think he's just understood. He's going to be in the lead come the last straight. Question is, how quick is that Ferrari in a straight line in comparison to the Red Bull? This is going to be insane. Matti as well in P4 could come into play. Nassi does not want to be in the lead, and you can see that, but by doing that, he's given up all the advantage that he had previously. Squidge tries making it past Tess, knowing that you want to be in P2, but Tess doesn't let that happen. Nassi wanted one of them to go past him, not both of them. This is... it's hardly racing, it's just strategy at this point. But, let's see even, Nassi, is he going to have a chance to defend from Tess here, or is Tess going to come through for the first win this season? We'll wait and see. Maggots and Beckett's, you need to get a good run coming out of here if you want to be able to secure this. DRS open for Tess, and it opens very early here. It is battery deployment and battery deployment. Nassi is not going to be able to hang on here. It's P2 for Nassi. Squidge still holding on to P3, but Tess is going to come through if he can keep these final couple of corners clean. From P15 to P1 in one race. It's a strategic masterclass from Tess, who takes the first win of the season and takes the championship lead for the first time in NEF1. Nassi P2, Squidge in P3, Matty in P4, Djokovic in P5, and that is a race that it's gonna finish like this a couple of times throughout this season. I'm quite sure when it comes down to the final straight. I'm not a particular fan of it, but it is the way this game is. Jamar in 6th, followed by Noah in 7th as he spins it across the line. Recon in 8th, finishing less than a second behind him. Wigan is going to come home to finish in P9, 2 points for Alpine yet again. Wilco is going to finish in P10 for points on his NEF1 debut, with Darren 2 seconds behind him. Georgi in 12th. He is followed by I, whilst last season's winner around here did have a little more of a tricky time this time out. Ron Speed finishes his first race in 14th, followed by Snicksor 15th in his return. Ipsdude in 16th for must say, a decent performance from Ipsdude, especially on that first stint. Just didn't have the pace on the second one to follow through, with Jay in 17th and Hybrid having spun across the line probably. In 18th, BT and Samo fail to qualify. But my goodness, that was an end to the race indeed. But what a performance from Tess. And we're going to start doing this. We're going to start naming the driver of the day in the races now. And this time, it's got to go to Tess, surely. 15th to first. It's an absolutely brilliant result for him. Just domination all the way. Not domination, but just absolutely blistering pace from Tess. Brilliant race from everyone inside that top 5. Brilliant entertainment, as always. And I would suspect it's going to be like this for a majority of the season. It's going to be very close every single race. If anyone can pull ahead in the championship, I'm definitely not ruling it out. If anyone just has a small edge, that's going to show. But the races are going to be incredibly close. As we can see, that the top 5 being separated by a second and a half. But Tess takes the championship lead and the fastest lap. Nas in P2, followed by Squidge in 3rd, Matty in 4th, Djokovic in 5th in the first race this season, Jamar, Noah, Recon, Wigan and Wilco finishing off the points, with a BT and Samo being the 2 retirees this race. But then that has been it for this first round of the NEF1 Championship, the first round out of 18. We got a long way to go, but now we are entering a US triple header for the first time in NEF1. Texas, Vegas and Miami coming up the next 3 races. We are starting off with a race that is always a belter. On January the 13th, we are going to Circuit of the Americas for round 2 of the NEF1 Esports Championship. Make sure you tune in then, because it's going to be a really, really good race, as always. So stay tuned for more NEF1 content. Thank you very much for tuning into the stream today, and I hope you have enjoyed it. But until then, we'll see you next week out. Stay safe, have a good one, and peace out.